You know, they always said, Barneveld's protected by the mountains. We're never going to have a tornado here.
The morning of June 8th, 1984 proved what many believed about their village was a myth.
Still to this day, every time I go to Barneveld, it's still windy. It's always windy there.
Sue Clerkin, who used to go by the last name of Ashelman, has since moved away from Barneveld. She lived in one of the hardest hit areas, a neighborhood along Swiss Lane, next to this woman, Patty Salisbury.
You talk to people, you say you're from Barneveld, and they go, oh, that's the town that had the tornado. I think people still remember.
Trevor Simon, known by many as TJ, cannot remember the day. He was short of his second birthday when the tornado killed his parents, Bruce and Jill, and his big sister, 8-year-old Cassie. A newspaper article after the disaster details Trevor's injuries. He was thrown 3 blocks from his family's home on Swiss Lane, then found along railroad tracks.
They found me and then they recognized me because, you know, they knew my dad, they knew me.
One of the dead was Bruce Simon.
35-year-old Bruce Simon was well known among first responders, having trained many of them.
He seemed, from what I'm told, to be a pretty extraordinary person. You know, like he was a teacher, he was a nurse, he was an EMT, he was in the Air Force.
Trevor says the stories about his family almost seem like fairy tales.
I don't know, he just seemed too good to be true. I wish I could have got to know him, you know. What can you do, you know?
Nowadays, Trevor lives in Green Bay. He grew up with his natural father's brother, Rick, and his wife, Judy, in Watertown. He also has grown up in a wheelchair, paralyzed by the injuries he suffered as a toddler. But a fan of wheelchair basketball, he says he's proud to share his story with his teammates, a story of survival.
When I go out and say mine, they just kind of look at me with disbelief, like, you're pulling my leg, you know, and I just... You know, I have to say, go look it up.
If Barneveld's known by some for its windy days, it's also known for its resolve to do what it promised after the tornado. Not to give up, but to go on.
It can either make you or break you. It can